would stop it. I've since discovered something called the McDowell Rape Checklist that was put in place in the 1970s, and in 1985 it was educated through Congress and trained across the country to throw out rape victims' testimonies. The intention of all this was for human sexual trafficking.
Well, actually, ma'am, everything you said has come out in congressional hearings separately with my own research that anyone can find, that DynCorp, Halliburton, arms of the Pentagon run not just women and children for sexual slavery, known as white slavery. Every time I say white slavery, I get emails saying, what, black slavery isn't bad? If a black woman is kidnapped and forced into sexual service, that's white slavery. White slavery just means sexual slavery, folks. And that's all come out. And there's congressional hearings where Rumsfeld said DynCorp is allowed to do this. We've decided. It's also come out in the Chicago Tribune that Halliburton and DynCorp also kidnap men worldwide and take them to slave facilities all over the world, at brick factories, textile plants. So, and China does this, Israel does it, Saudi Arabia does it. Our government works with Mexico with sex slaves and textile slaves as well. This is what globalism is. And we can give you a number here, ma'am, but the thing is, if you'll email Joel Skousen in his World Affairs brief, he said he wants to hear from whistleblowers, and give him your number. I would imagine if you put in your email what you've told me and that you'd like to talk about it, I'll guarantee you Joel would like to talk to you. But specifically, were you overseas and saw them using military flights to fly out women and children to, third-party countries like Indonesia, like Thailand, like Israel, Saudi Arabia, places like that? Or, what were you witnessing?
I was at Keeser Air Force Base where the wing commander in 1983 was trafficking his own women on the base. I walked into the officers' club and saw it, and before I left my training, they literally retired him. And this was the wing commander. Now, was he just
running whores, or were these third world women they brought in as slaves?
These were American military women who had been groomed, raped, groomed, and turned out for the base population.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was General Hooker. That's why they call hookers hookers, because General Hooker on the northern side would bring the women along in the wagon trains, hookers girls, as they were called. People think hookers put their hooks in, It's from General Hooker in the Civil War. And I know that there's articles every day I see about Homeland Security using the women in Homeland Security as sex slaves. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, this was on 3 different bases that I was at, and I witnessed as secrets were being sold at Wright-Patterson. I was a headquarters section commander down there, and while women were being raped and beaten, and I could not get it stopped as a commander, one of the guys who was raping and beating his children was a foreigner who had become an American citizen. They gave him direct access to the missiles, and he went on to sell the secrets and the missile secrets to China. He was Chinese national. And I ended up
Yeah, well, that's even in the Washington Post. There's over 3,000 Chinese front companies, and they're allowed to operate just like they were given the Panama Canal. They're given everything. But then the main focus of Homeland Security is going after the American people. Much of what you said I've separately seen confirmed. The military is also used to traffic narcotics into the country. That's why they're recruiting in third world countries. They're recruiting from gangs and then making gang commanders in the military to then command the gangs. And it's all part of their dark side takeover. But ma'am, I'll put you on hold and try to give you one of our more private emails. But I would suggest you get a hold of Joel Skousen. I appreciate your call. Since you wanted to get a hold of him, just email him. Thank you, Dorothy. Let's talk to Tim in Michigan. Tim, you're on the air.
Hey, Mr. Jones.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
I figured out I'm a regular caller at this point. I got a couple things I like you to reflect on. I watched, I know you've been trying to not bash Beck, and there's this guy that has a website, The Young Turk, and he's always bashing Beck. He's got several videos up there.
Yeah, but he does that from a liberal perspective, and I know about a week ago I was sent the clip. We'd played this years ago, where Glenn Beck says, don't go to Ground Zero, no Muslim should be near it. But then Glenn Beck's in all these shows saying there's no one I hate more than families of 9/11 victims and surviving 9/11 victims. But the Turk makes fun of me because I talk about CPS kidnapping kids. And then he did a show and said, I don't even know what CPS is. And somebody said, Child Protective Services. He said, oh, that's what my wife is. So, he's an airhead with an MSNBC show. So, I mean, in the turd-filled punch bowl, I mean, he's an even bigger turd in the making than Glenn Beck. But I appreciate your call, Tim. I'm sorry to use an analogy like that. I apologize. That's wrong. But the young Turk is a young turd. We'll be right back.
Is your debt problem a ticking time bomb? Thanks to a new financial consumer relief program designed in response to the economic crisis facing millions of Americans, you don't have to wait until it's too late to defuse your debt. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card bills and are struggling to make minimum payments, get ready to take down this number for free information that could potentially save your home, the lifestyle you're accustomed to, and your family's financial well-being. But don't wait. Studies show that if most debt problems are confronted directly, beneficial settlements, manageable monthly payments, and quick restoration of credit are more easily attained, potentially saving you thousands of dollars in interest charges, fees, and unpaid debt. Don't procrastinate. Call now for your free information and begin putting your economic house in order today. To qualify for this program, you must have $10,000 in credit card debt. Call the American Debt Associates at 800-876-2966. 800-876-2966. Again, 800-876-2966.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange home gain gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today.
Attention to all U.S. drivers who own a vehicle that has less than 130,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to our country's economic crisis and auto repair costs on the rise, if your vehicle has less than 130,000 miles, as of today, you could be one of the millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle covered under United Repair Plans and have 100% of your future covered auto repair bills paid for you. This low-cost vehicle service contract has been established under United Repair Plans and is now available to the general public in order to save drivers thousands of dollars on auto repairs during our country's recession. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, you may now call to see if your vehicle qualifies and for a free 5-minute quote. Number to call is 800-809-4491. 800-809-4491. Again, that's 800-809-4491.
G. Edward Griffin's coming up in the next segment for just 30 minutes to talk about these subjects. Let me start getting to the financial news right now. Investors spooked as glitch sends gold to $3,400 an ounce yesterday. This was on the heels of Bloomberg reporting gold rallying to 1,500 as Soros bubble inflates, reporting that the majority of future options that are held for the month of December are at $1,500 an ounce or more. So we have all of that going on. We have counties and cities and states going bankrupt. All of this is unfolding right now because they're announcing that the Federal Reserve is going to begin monetizing more debt or going the Weimar Republic or Zimbabwe African model, the German 1920s model, 1930s model, or the current model of Zimbabwe. And, of course, I showed you yesterday a $5 trillion. It's actually in my wallet. Will you guys give me my wallet? It's over there. Thank you. 5 trillion, or was it 50 trillion, note that it takes, a British reporter was here, said he'd just been in Africa, and that's what it takes to buy basically a bowl of soup and a drink. Yes, here it is. Here it is. $50 trillion, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. And you can get a little meal with that. 50 trillion, Bank of Zimbabwe. So we've got that coming up with G. Edward Griffin, really expert on the Federal Reserve, author of Creatures of Jekyll Island. Also, gold rallying to 1,500 as Soros bubble inflates. I talked about that. I briefly wanted to get Ted Anderson on because he said they got a lot of calls yesterday, and that, in fact, near record amount of phone calls. And people are really excited about the fact that Ted bought gold over a month ago when it was close to $80. It's gone up over $13 more today, under what it is now, and that Ted still got francs and sovereigns and a few other coins in plentiful supply, though they're starting to run out, that he can pass on the savings of when gold was a lot lower to you now. You're not going to find a better deal anywhere out there that you're going to find with this radio special today. Ted, give people today's offer. Then I want to ask you about this bizarre $3,400 spike yesterday in gold.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the offer then. The franc is currently right now at $270. That's the same price I offered it to for the audience yesterday. The price has climbed over $275 now on that particular coin. Gold hit a high today of $1,256 so far. Markets are still open. So that is only $4 away from the last market peak. Plus, also, it blows right through the resistance level, which is at $1,255, which means that it could go a heck of a lot further, even through the rest of this week. You're talking about what happened in the spike in the marketplace. It's just one of those glitches. But if you take a look at what's going on out there in the market, people are very interested in gold, not here just in the United States, but across China and India and all over the place.
Well, Congress admits that there's massive gold manipulation by the big private central banks. And what Bob Chapman and Kaiser and others have been saying is that they haven't been watching what's going on. That's why we've seen really weird gyrations in the markets over the weekends and things, and that they probably weren't there to hold it down for a little while, so it raced up speculatively before they put the clamps on it.
Yep, that does happen, you know. And so there's, like you said, Alex, there's so much manipulation going on by the central banks of the world. I mean, they're fighting tooth and nail to keep people in their fiat money. And when gold goes up, that drives people away from fiat money into gold. I mean, GATA was, you know, when Bill Murphy did that lawsuit against the central banks, that's what that was all about. Now, long as we're talking about banks, problem bank list climbed to 829. That's at a market peak, never seen before. It used to be just 2 years ago that only 90 banks were in trouble. Now we've got 829 on the list. And FDIC, which is the insurance company that guarantees your deposits at the banks, is $15.2 billion short on making that obligation work. So that
bottom line, Ted, you got great deals on gold and silver. You bought it when it was cheaper. You're selling it still with that discount in this pistol hot, firecracker hot, red hot market. The brokers are there. How long can you hold the price on these gold and silver coins?
Well, I can tell you I'm going to hold them till midnight tonight. And depending upon where my supply is, I'll take it through tomorrow. But we will see. Because right now, like you said, Alex, there's a lot of people buying, a lot of interest in gold and silver. It's not difficult to find customers to buy this stuff. That's the easy part. Getting the material is getting tough again, just like it was, you know, just a few years past.
All right, let's fire out the number, 800-686-2237, 800-686-2237. 2237. But you've got the Franks, the Buffaloes, and the